training vlog. Today we're going to talk about aids. What is an aid? An aid is a cue that the rider gives to the horse to get it to do what it wants. In my opinion, the biggest problem that we have is in riding when it comes to aids is riders putting them on when they don't realize it. So my attempt to actually help fix that is to outline what the aids are, what they do, so that maybe that'll start some thought process as my riders are going around thinking, am I sitting too deep? Are my hip angles open? Is my leg on too tight? Thinking about what aids they're using when they don't want to. So the 5 natural aids: hands, seat, eyes, legs, voice. Okay? Artificial aids: spurs, whips. Hands point the horse's nose. They allow rhythm, allow forward movement. They also stop forward movement. Your seat, and we're going to put seat/weight aids because I consider them the same. In an open hip angle, our seat is driving. If our seat leans, our horse goes in the direction that we lean. It also allows, so it does push the horse. We'll call it a driving aid. Our eyes. These are the first and most important aid in my opinion, because I actually teach it to beginners. First is to look where you're going. So if I look to the right, which I'm going to do here in a second, you'll see that my shoulders move with me. So I'm going to look to the right, my shoulders move. That just is the first cue to the horse that I'm going to turn right. Next is our legs. They pretty much just encourage forward movement. When I put both of them on, the horse goes forward. They're an aid for the trot, an aid for the canter. Outside leg back is a canter aid. They also have the ability to move the hindquarters and the shoulder based on if they're ahead of or behind the girth. And lastly is my voice. So I can use my voice for a number of things. One of the things is actually to encourage my horse. Good girl. Encourage them to go by clucking forward. Emphasize another aid by kissing into the canter. The way that I speak to my horse helps. The tone that I use encourages them. I also do a lot of counting down in my transitions. And this is just so my transitions are pretty good. It keeps them on par. They know what's coming. I'll go to canter every time I canter. 1, 2, 3. And then my canter aids come on. And honestly, my horse is most of the time cantering by 2. Because they know that I'm going to ask for the canter. They know what's expected of them when I count down like that. The same way when I go the opposite way. 3, 2, 1. Outside leg forward. Half vault. I'm in the trot on the right posting diagonal. It does take some practice and to make that stick, but that's how I help my riding by using my voice. So the last thing I do is, or the last aids we have to speak about are the artificial aids. And those are your whips and spurs. So your spurs basically enforce your leg. They're an added thing to your leg that does the same thing, but if you have a dull horse, you may need them so you don't have to work quite so hard and your horse is moving a little bit more forward. The whip is also an aid. It can work in different ways. It can control the shoulder. If I use it on the shoulder, in front of the saddle. It can work as a tapping motion behind my leg behind the girth to move the hind end. Eric can work a little bit back farther. I usually use it on the rump when I really want them to go forward because they're going to move away from that. And I do use it at the same time with my legs. So technically it also enforces the leg. Understanding the aids and what tells your horse to go where is probably a good chunk of knowing if you're using them or not. And the best practice to make sure that those aids are clear are actually just to go out and ride and think, okay, what is my horse doing? Oh, my horse is not turning through that right turn. Well, what aids might be on to get in the way? So my inside leg could be in front of the girth, blocking the shoulder. Maybe I'm not opening enough the rein. Maybe I'm not using my eye. So those are little things as a rider you can go through, okay, and think about. You say, okay, well, last time this didn't work, so let's try using a bit more eye this time. So I'll look a little bit more through the corner. Okay, that still didn't work. Okay, let's think about my inside leg. Is it on the girth? Next time you go around, oh, that corner was much better. That must have been my inside leg. So just kind of going through and thinking about what aids do what. will really help you improve your writing. But it does require, you know, a good commitment from you to be able to think about that. It's like problem solving. You know, that didn't work. What else could work? What could I try? And as a writer, that's really your job to kind of try and problem solve as much as you can when you're writing on your own. If you have any questions about AIDS, feel free to leave a comment, but definitely make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can see lots of great videos on how to improve your writing. Thanks.